Right, okay. Do you find that you are constantly feeling depressed? That's got to be a big yes, isn't it? It's amazing, really. I mean, I live in England, and I've done the statistics on this, and it's something like 4 in 5 families that are actually depressed. But do you know what? Trying to get people to own up to it. Stiff upper lip, us English. No, me depressed, never. But they are. We all are, and I'll tell you for why. Because it's not until you really understand be-me-ism that even in your human life that you think everything's all right and you're not depressed. According to the teachings of be-me-ism and what I know as being the difference, we are totally depressed. It's just that you're in denial that everything's all right. That's why when you say to people, how are you today? And you go, oh yeah, I'm all right. No, you ain't. You're not all right. You never have been all right. You don't know what all right is until you really do try to understand yourself or try to understand be-me-ism, which is what I'm trying to share with you. Because what you thought was your life, when you understand be-me-ism and you understand the awakening and you understand the ascension, you understand feeling, finding the true self, oh my God, the whole human side of it is wrong. Absolutely wrong. So you're feeling totally constantly feeling depressed, which means you're like a spring that's been compressed, right? There's no other word. But when I kind of looked at what being depressed was, I used to think, what's the bloody opposite here there then? Is there an opposite word? Happy, feeling good? No, there's got to be an opposite to feeling really depressed. So for me, feeling depressed, I discovered what's the opposite? Will it express? So there's the spring, I'm depressed, and then the awakening within yourself, understanding the healing, is that you're releasing the tension in that spring until all of a sudden, I'm expressing myself. And that's why a lot of you that are in your, what they call the bipolar, again, depressed, no we're not, depressed, no we're not. That's that moment where you've got your spring compressed, and then all of a sudden it releases itself, and that's where you go, I feel great, I feel good, I could take on the world, everything's fantastic. And then it depresses itself, because what we've got going on there is because it's short-lived. And when you start to understand the true self and you're trying to understand the healing, you want it to last. You don't want just bursts of it. It's like love. Someone's going to come into you. You're going to meet somebody for the first time. You're all right then, aren't you? You show this person actually a false part of yourself, because a couple of days ago you was like a baby under your duvet. You were so negative. You were so heartbroken. You were so knackered, you were so let down. You meet somebody, it's like, oh, should we go out and have some fun? Should we do this? Oh yeah, I love this and I love that. Crock of shit, really. I mean, really, grasp that and contain that, because that is so wrong. I've realised that in my life, and I thought, why are you lying? Because you are. And it doesn't take long before that other side of you starts to come out. Hands up, we've all done it, you're all doing it, we've all been in it. So that's why you cannot sustain it, because you're lying. And the feeling that you're trying to heal within you is a lie. Think about that for the moment. What is it you're trying to heal? And it's a lie. There's a lie buried deep within you, no matter where it comes from. But let me tell you my biggest lie that I discovered after all of these other things that I had to go through to understand what was the lie and why wasn't I feeling right. The lie was being a human being. And how did I come about that? I mean, that took 17 years. And it wasn't until I questioned that within myself that sort of said, okay, last one, is human being who we are? Well, my body just felt so wrong. So we're not human beings then. So then I sort of asked the other question, it's like, well, are we spiritual beings then? Kind of like that. Still didn't feel right. There's the be-me. There's the be-me, because it's not going too far out here. It's not some fangled, dangled, majestic, magical thing. It's like you're really capturing who you are for the first time in your life. And you're feeling yourself for the first time in your life. And there is this moment of naturalness. I call it divinity because it really does feel like that. It really does feel like that you have connected to the divine, because there is something there that once you recognize yourself, that it feels so fucking good. And you get bursts of it. You get like little moments of it. And so this is what this depression is all about. And your soul knows that it wants to be expressing itself. But when you're not truly expressing yourself, you kind of crash. So find out what is really depressing you, really. Keep it short and sweet. Are you finding it difficult to express your true feelings? Yes or no? I'd like to hear everyone say yes, really, because, again, according to be-me-ism, and according to the difference of what I now know, no one is really expressing their true feelings. The reason being is because no one's actually taught you how to. No one. That's what they should be teaching at school. You've got to understand the difference between what an emotional side of you is, because emotional side is just a reaction. But trying to get to the true feeling of who you are, well, that's a whole new ballgame. And your true feelings are like a feeling that doesn't feel like a feeling. It actually doesn't feel like anything, because everything is running really smooth. It's really nice. You know, your car's running wrong. Something smells like it's burning. There's a squeaking noise coming from your brakes. There's the emotion of it. Oh, what's going to break down? Am I going to get to A to B? How much is it going to cost me in the garage? Am I going to lose my car? Do I have to buy a new one? That's the emotional side of it all. But see, when your car is all right, feels good, doesn't it? Car feels all right, feels safe. Nothing wrong with it. So there's the feeling of it. You really don't take much notice of your car because you know that it's running all right. So you trust that. And that's the difference between your kind of feelings and your emotions in a hypothetical way, really. But of course, it's a lot deeper than that. So expressing your true feelings. I don't like it when people turn around and say, well, if you don't like me, you take me as I am, then tough shit, it's down to you. This is who I am. That is really arrogant, and that is a very angry being. Stay away from them. Because them people that think this is who I am and this is the way I am, they're just living from an experience, and they're just an accumulation of their past. And because they're an accumulation of their past, that's how they're going to treat you. So basically, you're not meeting a man, you're not meeting a woman, you're actually meeting a past. You're meeting an experience, and that experience has been brought to you in the disguise called a human being. So try and understand what is it that you truly want to feel, because that is totally your responsibility. And as I said, for me, being me really gets to the point of that, where you kind of question, how does being me really want to feel? Well, for a start off, I don't want to feel like this. But to discover how you truly want to feel is that you have to heal how you don't feel. And that's where it becomes really hard work. And yes, it is hard work. Bloody schooling was hard work. Driving your car was hard work. Yes, this is hard work, but get into it. Don't let yourself down. It's worth the hard work. It becomes easier. It really does. But it takes time. It doesn't happen tomorrow. Honestly, it don't. So don't listen to people go, yeah, you'll just get through it. No, you won't. You've got to work on it. Absolutely work on it. Like, you've got to work on your car. You've got to work on everything. Work on this. Are you constantly questioning yourself to find answers? If there's a problem, yes, you need an answer. If you've got a problem, yes, you need a solution. Be-me-ism for me was my solution. Being me was my solution. So therefore, being me was also a problem. Being me needed a solution. What was what had been offered to me out there is that that wasn't a solution for me. Nothing there felt right for me. And trust me, I did look at a lot of things and I got involved in a lot of things. None of it felt right. I needed to find my own, as I'm trying to help you to find and discover your own. Because I think with my teachings, I think, who knows, maybe I'll start doing this and maybe in 300 years, it might start making sense, It's like most of the spiritual stuff, Let's face it took me 5,000 years to understand Buddha. Because that's the part of the timeline that I came into life, 2,000 years for Jesus Christ. I mean, I only knew about that, so it took 2,000 years for me to get to know about it. So who knows with be-me-ism? Maybe another 2,000 years time, people turn around and go, oh yeah, I'm into be-me-ism. Well, what's that then? Well, it's believing in self. Truly. I understand myself, I've healed myself, I'm truly being me, and I'm experiencing life truly being me. I pray to me. I express who I am. I share my gifts with the world. I'm a very creative, intelligent being. I have amazing gifts. I can do all these things. I don't find life a problem because I practice being me. And that's what it was. Every spiritual thing out there, Buddhism is a practice. Kundalini, no, not Kundalini, yoga, Yona. I'm going to do a new one called Yona. No, yoga is a practice, isn't it? Everything you do is a practice. Netball, football, baseball, you're practicing. The better you get at practicing, the better that you become. Be-me-ism, practicing. The be-me is, the M for me is mastering. Magical. Mystery. Be-me is mystery. Be-me is mastering. Or you can go be-me is miserable. There's loads of be-me-ism things, and we'll get to that in hopefully not years to come. So try to find out why it is difficult to express your true feelings. Now, listen to that again. Find out why it is difficult to express your true feelings. So you're not trying to find your true feelings. What you're looking for is the expression of it. Why is it difficult for you to express your true feelings? There's the answer. So you are the question and you are the answer, because you've got the problem and it's you that's got the solution. And when the outside world shuts you out and no one has got your solution, there's only one place to go. You've got to find that within yourself. And somebody said to me, as I said earlier on, I don't know who I am. I said, identify who you are. You can turn around and say you're, God, call it whatever you like, Zig and Zog if you like. You can come from, Zig and Zog land if that's what you truly believe that you are, and it kind of feels good for you and it feels right for you. Then be a zigzag person, whatever zigzag is. But you know what I'm saying. To me, it's about being me. No identity to that at all. I don't look at myself as Trevor Owsley anymore. I don't look at myself as any trade that I do. People say to me, oh, you're a great psychic, you're a great medium, you're a great clairvoyant, you're a great healer, and all of these wonderful things. I say, no, not really. I'm just being me, really. Once you start identifying yourself with labels, I find it actually keeps you limiting. It stops you from growing. So trying to understand your feelings is a major part of your transformation. And this is where you're at. That's the one thing you're trying to understand, is identifying within your own self. And this is where you must identify it within yourself. This is how I'm feeling. Be very honest with yourself. Be truthful with yourself. Write it down, as I always say. Write down the complaint. Write down the pain. But then sort of step back and look at it and say to yourself, okay, what's the solution to what this is and to what this feeling is? Because 9 times out of 10, what it is, because you've had an experience of such a long time that everything has accumulated itself on top of you. And so that you get to this point in your feelings where you just want to sort of say, enough is enough. I can't keep feeling like this. And once we start to work with that feeling, we start to understand healing. So feelings need healing. A little poet there. So okay, let's move on to the next part in my little book here. This is the questions that it all started me off, really. Are you constantly questioning yourself to find answers? Well, we're all doing that. We're always questioning. And it kind of leaves you feeling very confused. So with the questionings that you've got, what is the question? Who are you asking? Well, the main thing that you're asking is that you're actually asking yourself, because the question is going around and around in your own head. And this is going to drive you mad. You know, somewhere along the line, I feel that meditation is all about being able to stop the questions. But because you've got so many, that's going to take some time. So again, that's why in meditation, I think it's good to ask one question and really analyze that one question and sit with how you feel with that question and let the solution kind of come from that. So trying to find answers for me was an amazing journey, because it was kind of like never ending. I wanted to know the meaning of who I was. I wanted to know the meaning of life. I wanted to know the meaning of everything. I wanted to know the meaning of my relationships, why they work, why they don't work, the jobs that I've chosen, why was my past in the way that it was. You know, you're here to question. Ask good questions, I feel, and that you can kind of get great answers from it, especially when you're working with your energetic self or your spiritual self. That's where you want to kind of get the answers from. You want to visualize yourself as this intelligent spiritual being or spirit being, because one day we will be that spirit being. And this is what be-me-ism is all about. It's being able to connect into that source right here, right now, so that you can work with that transition, if you like, to be able to heal yourself now rather than it being later. You know, when I was doing mediumship and I was doing the shows, I used to ask the audience, you know, what are you looking for? What would be the message that you would hope that your grandfather or your mother would come through and say to you? So I asked the audience, and the top answer was, I just want to know if they're okay. Think about that for a minute, because my answer from that, from spirit, was ask them if they're okay. See, there's the dilemma. People, when they lose people into the spirit world and they sort of transition from the physical into the spiritual, it leaves us all with unanswered questions. There's no answers to anything. You know, we would like to think that we are mature as human beings, that whatever's gone on within the childhood or what's ever gone on within the family, you would like to think, being an adult and you've got, I don't know, a day, a week, 10 minutes to live sort of thing, that there would be some enlightenment, an apology even. Just to say sorry to somebody is enough to be able to release that child of yours that's going to be left on the earth plane trying to figure out answers to some questions that they never felt fulfilled. And 9 times out of 10 say, we will always miss somebody. And that was an interesting thing, because I said earlier on, you know, is there something missing in your life? And it can be as simple as that. You know, you're missing somebody. But trying to connect in with that somebody, and I know a lot of people do believe in this afterlife. I did the facts on it once, and it's quite huge. It's amazing now whether or not you believe that there's just the spirit world, or that you believe in God, or that you believe in Jesus. You know, it seems as a human race that we have to believe in something. But for me, after looking at all of these things, you know, you could believe in Buddha, you could believe in Hinduism. It's just something that we've been taught in our programming, that you to believe in something. But for me, what the turning point was for me was, did I actually believe in myself? And of course, the answer to that, and now that's a good question. Do you actually believe in yourself? And the answer that you will receive straight away is no, because how do we believe in ourselves? What is the recipe to understand that? And that's where I started to connect with myself, connect with my own divinity, find out my own source power, to be able to communicate and listen, because by listening, you're listening to your feelings about how something feels in your life. To me, that's a great way of understanding your questions and your answers. If something makes you feel good, then it kind of feels like it's the right answer. But then on the sideline of that, something can actually make you feel bad. But in all honesty, in that, there's still gold, because you're looking to feel that feeling. And that's the feeling that basically needs healing. There's something in there that's feeling bad. I need to delve into myself, delve into my emotions, delve into the past, really. Because don't forget, your body is holding all your past experiences. And so therefore, connecting in with the body, talking to the body and asking the body to release an image of where that stuck energy is basically come from. And that's how you start to communicate. And that's why I call my philosophy or my teachings, I call it ICB-me, which is intelligent communication, body, mind, energy. But we'll get onto that a little bit later through the series of Be-Me Healing. So let's go on to the next question.